Hi Cancer, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're sun, moon or rising sign Cancer, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. With that said, if you are a continued subby, you know I love you. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. All right, so your key to the week this week is the Hanged Man. Taking a moment, taking a beat, taking it down to ground, take it slow. All right. Now, Mars is moving into the sign of Cancer, so I'm not entirely sure how possible that's going to be for you, but with the Hanged Man, this is basically a point where it asks you to reassess and reevaluate. This could be a week as well where you pay attention to where you are too giving, where you are too overextending, where it is that you are maybe in some way, shape or form being taken advantage of, but it could just as easily represent where you are choosing to be a martyr, where you're choosing to suffer for, you know, like, oh, well, it's awful, but I will just deal with it because that is the way that things are, you know, like that whole kind of energy. You know, not to say that you are, but this could be a week where you do observe that either within yourself or you become fully aware of where someone or something is taking advantage of you and you're no longer here for it. For your actions and options this week, you have the Five of Swords, and it looks like you're really not here for it, right? This suggests that this week you could be having some interesting conversations, maybe some challenging conversations at that. What I will say to you as well with the Hangman, with the Five of Swords, because this is about what you do, this could very well see you having a tough conversation or speaking your mind on something, which is great. However, because you've got the Hanged Man there as well, I just want you to make sure that whatever it is that you launch off on a tirade about, you actually know what you're talking about. This isn't to say that you don't. Usually Cancerians have a very good grasp of situations, especially from an intuitive perspective. However, this week you may not be seeing things exactly as you want them to be, or your response may be like using a flamethrower to, you know, to hammer in a nail. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just, the two aren't proportionate, and I just want you to be aware of that this week. When it comes to your communications and conversations, you have the Nine of Cups. This is beautiful, right? So there could be some profound spiritual healing that takes place this week. It's very possible. There could be a profound shift in awareness and consciousness on a really deep sort of level this week that is likely to come through a conversation. If you already have a therapist, if you already have a seer, a psychic, you know, a tarot reader, whatever it is, like, this would be a great week for you to get a reading because it could prompt some really powerful internal shifts and changes. Now, that said, you do have the Five of Swords here. So like I said, your response to things this week needs to be proportionate because you might blow it out of proportion. However, through your communications this week, there can be a profound shift in consciousness that comes about and a healing that takes place on a really deep, possibly even soul deep level. You know, the words psychic surgery are coming to me right now, and that's how it kind of feels like, through words, through communication, through speaking, through talking and listening as well. This week even, you could be doing some sort of psychic surgery. Do you know what I mean? Like, where you go in and you cut away or you open up something, you know, to draw the poison out of it so that you can close the wound and it can heal properly finally. I know that's like a really sort of esoteric way of looking at it, but it's the best explanation that I can give you. On the other side of this, when it comes to your profession, for those of you that work for somebody else, look, this can be great. Now, if you are taking your power back this week, it looks like you might be able to find a way of doing so that mends all things. Like, this would be a really good week as well. If you have that one colleague or maybe even a superior that, you know, always relies on you, this could be the week where you could gently sort of push the baby out of the nest and say, well, actually, no, you know what, I'm not doing that this time, you can do this. And it's like you could find a really gentle way of righting a wrong of some kind. For those of you that work for yourselves, business owners, entrepreneurs, this is great, right? This could be some sort of, remember the Nine of Cups is also wish fulfillment. And because it's in your communications and conversations, for those of you that work for yourselves, this could be a wish that is fulfilled that feels like it's divinely inspired, or it could be that you come up with a solution this week that feels like it comes through on that psychic or even spiritual level. And then finally, for those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, this could be a really powerful week for mending some sort of a rift, maybe in your communications. Maybe this is the week where you get to speak your mind. Maybe this week you get to say what it is that you've needed to say for a long time, but if you say it in the wrong way, or you shout, or you try to be forceful with it, the message is going to be lost in translation. And I think that's probably for all Cancerians, Sun, Moon or Ascendant. That part of it's really important. It's not going to be about what you say. It's going to be about the quality of the speech, the cadence of the way that you say it. You know, how you put this message across is going to be just as important as the message itself. And if you want that really profound shift in consciousness or healing to take place, this week it really is possible, providing your response to whatever comes up is the right measure of what, you know, if you make a vodka and Coke, you don't put like half a litre of vodka and a splash of Coke, do you? Maybe if you're in your like early 20s, but you know, jokes aside, right? You have to find a way to blend the right, it's all about proportion. All right, that's the best example I can give. For your money and materials, everyone's sitting there thinking like, was Raf a secret alcoholic? No, I'm not. For your money and materials this week, you have the Temperance card. Okay. Outside of that, forget money for a second. Let's talk about literally your physical healing, right? You got the Temperance card with the Nine of Cups. This week, you could, when I say like a profound healing shift can take place, I mean like really on a physical level, on an emotional level, on a mental level, maybe even on a relationship level as well. Like this week, healing can truly find you, Cancer, if you're open to it. If you're open to looking at new or alternative ways or methods of healing, whether that's for your physical body, for your internal body, for your spiritual body, maybe even for your financial body, it's really, really possible. There's a powerful shift this week that could take place. Now, when it comes to your money, your materials and your finances, this is going to see you really paying attention to what is possible financially and what isn't. It might also be a week where you really start to... It might also be a week where you really start to get clear on your finances. Maybe you're putting your ducks in a row. Maybe you are looking at where you've been frivolous with money. Maybe you're shoring up your defenses or bulking up your savings. In some way, shape or form, you are putting foot to butt when it comes to the money, but you're doing it in a way that is balanced and measured. For your physical health and vitality, like I said, especially for those of you that are looking into alternative methods of healing this week, you know, that you could find some really amazing, powerful results and very profound answers. When it comes to your home and environment, well, look, the Temperance card is Sagittarius, right? So the fact that you have this means in a lot of ways you are broadening your perspective. You're starting to understand things more. And I think in a lot of ways, when it comes to your home and environment, I think you're starting to understand this week, Cancer, where the shift has to happen. Like, what do I need to change on the home level? Home is very important to Cancerians, right? Sun, Moon or Ascendant. We've got a full moon taking place right at the beginning of this week. So it's going to be an interesting time for Scorpios, for Cancerians anyway, because obviously the moon is in fall in Cancer anyway, which means it's somewhat challenged. And, you know, Mars is in Cancer in the sign, or, you know, in your Sun, Moon or Ascendant sign. And that in itself, like, so the quality of the full moon is exacerbated because obviously its modern ruler Mars is in Cancer, where Mars is also in fall. So this could be a really intense week emotionally, but the power and the potential for healing across the board, specifically for Cancerian people, sun, moon or ascendant, is so fucking powerful right now. It's unbelievable. Do not waste this week, right? Wherever you know there is a toxin, there is a poison, wherever you know that deep down in your bones something isn't right, something needs to go, something needs to be changed, something needs to be adapted or evolved, do that work, because the shift that comes off the back of it this week could be immense. And when it comes to your home as well, this week you could literally be saying to yourself, right, I don't know, that leather chair in the corner that was given to us by Aunt Phyllis 20 years ago needs to go in the bin. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know it sounds really stupid, but sometimes it can be that small. So, you know, sometimes it can be that material. And in other ways, this might literally just be you saying, you know what? The whole place needs an overhaul. The whole place needs to be cleansed in some way, shape or form. Pay attention to what comes up this week, because it might be very profound. For your love and relations, you have the Empress, right? So this is beautiful. This is lovely. I like this. For those of you that are single, you are understanding what your wants, your needs and your desires are on a much more powerful level. And because it comes through the guise of the Empress, this is going to be an intense week anyway. But the Empress is basically saying, how do we take that intensity off? Let's smooth some of the edges off here. And I think this week, the self-care and nourishing that you're doing comes from a place of understanding, okay, you know what I really need in terms of a partner, a relationship, a companion is this. And by just being really clear on what that is and allowing that to filter its way out so that you can get into the energetic alignment with it, you'll be really surprised at what and possibly who shows up. When it comes to those of you that are partnered or in relationships, this is lovely, especially because that Nine of Cups is in close proximity. This is very fertile energy, so for those of you that don't want that experience, just beware. But it can also be fertile energy for the projects that you have. This could be you guys sitting in contemplation or looking out in the same direction at that thing that you really desire to have in your life right now. It's sensual, it's sexy, it's connected, it's using the power of your emotion and the power of your relationship to draw to you the things that you truly want. Like, it's like holding hands with your partner and visualizing the same thing. It's connecting with your partner physically, you know, and visualizing the same thing. It's a really beautiful energy this week, and it can be really uplifting once you get out of the intensity of the beginning of the week. This is a very long video, I realized, because, you know, there were some other things going on here that I wanted to talk about, but really powerful. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Take care, and I'll see you soon.